Hi everybody, how we doing? Welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather. If you've never been here before, definitely get down there and subscribe. Everybody hit the like button and let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of books coming out this summer that I'm really excited about. So this is going to be for books that are coming out in June, July, and August. I have 20 books here and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them, and hopefully you guys are as excited about them as I am. And if you guys have any recommendations for books coming out in the next few months that you guys are really interested in that I didn't mention, leave them down in the comments so I can check it out. Because I have a million books that I want to read, but I could have 2 million, just, saying. Anyways, let's get into it. So, a few of these books have already come out in June. I know I'm a little late on the ball game with this video right now, but that means that we can buy them already. So, let's just be happy about that. Okay, so we're going to start with a few releases from June 2nd. Okay, so the first book on my list here is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. So this is going to be a duology. It's the first book in the series. It follows some West African folklore. So basically, we're following one of the characters. Their younger sister is kidnapped, and he is trying to figure out how to get her free. And he makes a deal that if he can kill the princess, then she will be freed. And we also have this princess who, her mom is killed and she wants to use an old resurrection spell to bring her back, but she needs the heart of a king to do that. So she is going to put on these games in order to find someone to marry, and he will become the king, and then she will take his heart and do her resurrection spell. And guess who's entering this tournament to try and win? Our other character, I think his name was Malik. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, so we got some interesting plot lines going on there, and that one sounds really interesting to me. So the next book on the list here is A Song Below Water, and this one's by Bethany C. Morrow. And this book sounds really interesting because it's about sirens, and I don't think I've ever read a book about sirens, so this sounds very interesting to me. They are not well liked in society, and a lot of them keep to themselves and don't tell people. There's some stuff going around, and there's a siren murder trial that comes out, and this really famous icon comes out that she's a siren, and things just seem to be kind of imploding in the siren world and coming out all over the place. There's just, a lot of stuff going on with some sirens in this one. I don't really know much more than that, but I'm down for some sirens. Let's see how many times we can say siren. Anyways. Also on June 2nd, we have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. And this one is following Liz. Yes, this one follows Liz, and she really wants to get out of her small town. She doesn't feel like she fits there, and she wants to go to Pennington College, and she loses her financial aid. She can't afford to go there without it. But there's a scholarship for whoever wins prom queen and king. So she decides that she has to enter into the race, become prom queen, even though she does not want anything to do with it. She really needs the money. And along the way, we also have a new girl that comes to school, and she is also trying to become prom queen. And Liz may be falling for her. So there's some intrigue going on there. They're going to be battling it out, but also maybe a little love interest happening. Sounds very cute and interesting to me, so I'm excited to read that one eventually here. And the last one I have down for June 2nd is a collection of comics. This is by Debbie Tung. It is called Happily Ever After and Everything in Between. This just sounds like a really cute little book. It is about a marriage between two people. One's an introvert, one's an extrovert, and it's just, you know, it's got like some of those sweet moments, but then also some of the weird things that sometimes happen when you're married for a long time. And just, you know, anniversaries that just become a little less exciting as you go, or all those little marriagey type things. I feel as though I may be able to relate to this in certain ways because my husband's a little bit more introverted and I'm a little more extroverted. So it just seems like a fun little light read, and there just might be some, you know, humor in this one. So the next book that I'm going to talk about here is coming out on June 3rd. Is called The House Guest by Mark Edwards. This book follows a young couple who goes to house sit for a family in New York City, and while they're there, this girl named Eden shows up and says that she's friends with the homeowners and they've told her that she can come and stay with them if she's in town and needs somewhere to be. So she's very charismatic. They let her come in and stay, and then they start questioning it. Dun dun dun. Who is this chick? What's actually happening here? Yada yada. Don't need to really know too much more than that because it'll probably spoil things. So next, on June 4th, we have The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. And this one is about a mage named Wraiths, who she has an unusable power because basically if she touches anyone, she just drains the life out of them. And in their society, that's just not something that anybody's going to use. So one unfateful night, she accidentally kills a dignitary and also unlocks the power of some mysterious artifact. And so she makes a run for it. But while she is outside of the castle walls, away from her family, she starts talking to this group of rebels, I believe, and finds that her family is in danger. Her family is in danger, and she needs to get back to them and help save them, and she needs to control whatever this mysterious artifact is because it's more dangerous than she ever realized. So, well, sounds kind of fun and interesting. June had a ton of releases for me. I'm guessing because a lot of these were probably pushed back from everything that's been going on over the last couple months, and there's just a ton of June releases. So June 23rd, I've got a few books for. So I have Sisters of Sword and Song by Rebecca Roth. This is about two sisters. One of them went and served in the Queen's Army, and the other girl is excited because she's finally going to be coming home, but she shows up too early and she's on the run. So she ends up getting a punishment, and it's a really like heavy punishment. So the other sister decides to do the punishment with her to lessen the load. She really just wants to find out what the heck actually happened. The next book is going to be The Girl from Widow Hills by Megan Miranda. This book follows a young girl who is sleepwalking in the middle of this huge storm, and everybody's out searching for her and they think she's lost, but miraculously she's found. And from then on, they have all of these different festivals about it. There's like a anniversary every year to celebrate the miracle of finding her, and she gets tired of it. So when she's old enough, she changes her name and she leaves and disappears from the town. But on the 20th anniversary of the incident happening, everything kind of starts coming up again, and she starts sleepwalking again. So on the 20th anniversary, she's like thinking they're gonna have a big hoopla, and so she starts sleepwalking again, and she's all nervous about being found out again and being back in the spotlight, and she doesn't want any of that to happen. I'm guessing it probably does, but we'll see. The next book I have on the list is Party of Two by Jasmine Guillory. I haven't read any of her books, but I'm very intrigued by all of the books in this series. So this one is going to be talking about Olivia. She moves to LA and she's going to start a law firm there. And she meets Max, and he is a junior senator, and they hit it off. And they at first are going on dates, and they're doing like silly disguises so they can keep it secret and just kind of, you know, build the relationship before it goes public. And then it does go public, and it's about whether or not they can survive the public scrutiny that comes with being with a politician and all of her possible secrets that maybe are coming out. So that one sounds kind of fun and light and cute, and I definitely am interested in reading one of her books because I haven't read a Jasmine Guillory book yet. So the last one for June 23rd is I Killed Zoe Spanos. This is by Kit Frick. This one is following two teens. One of the teens is in jail, and she confessed to killing Zoe Spanos. And there's another teen who is determined to get down to what actually happened and who truly did this crime. And there's also the other teen, the second teen, that's trying to find the truth, has a podcast talking about it, and so there's that kind of fun element. This might be a good one, like if they did an audiobook possibly. I know that a lot of people like the podcast element in an audiobook more, but I definitely have a few books with podcast elements to them that I'm interested in getting into, so that might be kind of like a fun little like video reading a few books with podcasts or something. So my last June book is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and this one comes out on June 30th. And this one's going to be kind of like your creepy thriller horror type book. And it's basically about this woman who returns to this house that is her father's famous best-selling horror memoir, the house based on the memoirs. And she's going there to figure out if there is actually anything haunting it, or maybe something else dangerous or sinister going on. So moving into July, I have some releases for July 7th. The first one is The Shadows by Alex North, and this one sounds pretty creepy too. Basically, 25 years ago, this guy named Crabtree murders somebody, and it is like in this crazy, sinister, just blah kind of way. And now we're 25 years later, and Paul was actually a friend of this guy, and he has to go back home because his mom isn't doing well. He needs to go home and take care of her. And between that 25 years, there's been a lot of copycats of this murder. And when he moves back, there's another one, and the mom is convinced that there's something in the house that he used to live in, and dun dun dun. That's what we got. So next we have Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. And this one I actually have a e-arc of through NetGalley. So I will be reading this one soon and reviewing it for you guys. And this one is a post-Cinderella story. So it is 200 years past when Cinderella's time was. Now all women, I think they said that are 16 years old, go to an annual ball, and they have to be set up to a marriage, like find a match. When they're at this ball, the guys like choose them, and if they don't find a match, then they're just mysteriously gone. So when Sophia is there, she meets Constance, and Constance is the last descendant of Cinderella that is left, and the two of them team up to basically try to get rid of the king. And they also, along the way, are figuring out some of Cinderella's secrets that no one really knows about. And the last one I have for July 7th is Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Basherdoust. So this follows a girl who has poisonous touch, and she stays locked away in her gardens to keep everybody else safe from her. It's about her possibly stepping out into the world for the first time. There is a demon down in a dungeon that could have some answers for her as far as her becoming free. And also a young man comes into the picture that isn't afraid of her. So maybe we're going to get out into the world a little and have a little adventure. On July 14th, we have What You Wish For by Catherine Center coming out. This one I also have an e-arc for and will be reviewing for you guys. So this one's kind of a cute little unrequited love type story. It has Sam, who is a librarian. She loves her job, and then the principal ends up dying, and they get a new principal who is unrequited love from her past. But the guy isn't sweet anymore, and he's kind of going overboard at the school and making it feel more like a prison. So she's like, no. And she's trying to save the school from his crazy. Ooh, I'm really excited for this next one. So this one is called Mayhem, and it is by Estelle Lauer. And this one's a magical realism book, which is something that I'm new to realizing that I enjoy, and it is placed in 1987. It follows Mayhem, and she ends up moving to a coastal town here in California. I think it was like Santa Barbara or something, and meets some of her family and learns about her magical lineage and the magic that she's going to inherit from her family. And she's looking into the disappearance of all these girls who are getting kidnapped on the beach. And she has some struggles with like vengeance and revenge and kind of some of the backlash that can come with that. Should be interesting. Next we have July 21st, 10 Things I Hate About Pinky, coming out by Sandia Menon. So this one follows Pinky, who is an activist. She's very spoken out about social justices, and part of why she does it is also to irritate her parents, who are largely conservative lawyers. Then we also have Samir on the other side of things, who is very structured, organized. He plans out his day down to the last minute, and he's very predictable and steady. And so Pinky hatches this plan to fake date Samir so that her parents will get off of her back for the summer while they are enjoying some time at the Cape. And she just doesn't want to hear them whining at her about all her poor choices in boyfriends. So this one I've heard is maybe related to similar feelings to 10 Things I Hate About You, the movie. So I'm curious to see how that kind of plays out. The last one for July that I have is July 28th. This one is He Started It by Samantha Downing. I have heard some good things so far about this one. And it basically is following these 3 siblings and their significant others. They go on a road trip after their grandfather dies because they want to get his inheritance. And he says, you have to go on this road trip in order to do that and do all these things. But one among them is like a killer, and there's a body in the trunk, and there's a lot of secrets, and they don't all really like each other. And then for August, I only have 2 books on here at the moment, which is good. So we can wrap this up a little. But the first one is by Lisa Jewell. It's called Invisible Girl. So in this one, we have Owen, who is a geography teacher, and he gets suspended from the school he works at for sexual misconduct. And across the street lives the Four family, and they have a teenage daughter who thinks Owen's creepy and feels like, he's looking at her. And the parents are like psychologists and therapists and such, and they get bad vibes from Owen as well. But Owen says, no, I've never done any of this, and he's apparently a virgin, and so not really sure there. But one of Rowan Four's patients, Sapphire, ends up going missing, and the last person that she has talked to is Owen. So What's going on there? I don't know. Let's find out. So the very last book that I'm going to be talking about today is going to come out on August 25th, and it is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. And this one is a fun little circus duology, and this is the first book, and I'm way excited to be having this one come out because, you know, I like a good circus book, as you guys probably know by now. The basic premise of this book is that they are trying to find someone to be the new headliner for the Conquering Circus. So they have a bunch of magicians coming to audition, but magicians keep going missing, and we're down to these last 3, and they basically have to deal with some of their own secrets before the darkness comes for them. I also feel like I heard somebody saying that this may be the Owlcrate book that's coming, so that'd be pretty exciting because I definitely am interested in this one. Alright guys, that was a lot of books. 20 books in total. We are done. I'm excited for all the fun summer releases going on. If you guys like something like this and you want me to do one for the fall, let me know. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!